process, but it seems that actually WePay doesn't provide such a tool to its PayFac or its platform partners, and actually it just kind of has its own tools, and then it does that part of the process and kind of keeps that separate from what the platform.
So yeah, I think you misunderstood me. The platform has the option to have it on their side, and WePay or Stripe will provide that option. It's just that you have the option to build it on you have the option to have it transparent to your customer or to the merchant, and so it's all on your website. But that's obviously more work. Or you can send them to WePay or Stripe. So
right. Okay.
Both of those things are true.
Scenario, because you mentioned there were kind of two scenarios. So this is just in the first scenario.
Yes.
So how common do you think the first scenario is? Like, if we look at platforms using WePay, like roughly as a ballpark figure, what kind of percentage of them would be using this first scenario? Is it still quite common?
I would say it's not that common, but I would also say there's a third scenario. The third scenario is that the company or the platform, they take on the risk of fraud and KYC, and the benefit of that is they're going to take the lion's share of the transaction, and that is probably not very common because you need to be a very big company to be able to handle that.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we've covered the first scenario in terms of the onboarding process. Could you run me kind of through what the more common second scenario would be?
The more common second scenario is let's call it let's say it's a 4-step process. So the customer comes in and they set up some generic banking information. They enter in some details about their company. They do the KYC process. They set up a merchant account, whether it's with Stripe or WePay, and then they're done. And that entire process is on the platform. So they would not even, maybe it says, powered by Stripe or powered by WePay, but at that point they would have no knowledge that they are essentially using a third party.
Okay.
So it'd be like I'm a customer and I come onto platform X and I'm signing up and all I see is payments by X, and so it's like I wouldn't even know. And then at some after that process, the website or the platform would tell them where their merchant account is.
Okay, that makes sense. So in that situation, then, does that merchant need to do any of their own development work, or is it literally a case of the merchant enters in their credentials, then they've got a merchant account, and then they can immediately start accepting payments on the platform powered by WePay? Like, is there anything else that the merchant needs to do in the way?
It's a significant amount of. For the merchant or for the platform?
First of all, for the merchant, and then I'd ask the same question for the platform, because I imagine that for the platform there must be a significant amount of integration work that needs to be done.
Yeah, so for the platform, it's a lot of work. And then for the merchant, it depends. So if you're let's say you're on. Let's just use a company like Shopify as a good example. There's no work. It's like you enter in it's a user experience. Like I'm an individual guy I make guitars on the weekend, and I sell guitars on Shopify. I don't know anything about web development. I just enter in the information. So for the most part, it would be zero, unless you were using. I know they have some other products that I know less about where they essentially you can build your own website and then install their checkout flow. In that scenario, there might be some work, but I have limited visibility to that.
Okay, so that's more like the direct model, right, where a small merchant could essentially just go direct to WePay, saying, I want to integrate the WePay payment gateway into my website, and then they would, so that's kind of like more of a direct model. But as I understand it, that's pretty rare, right, for WePay. My understanding is they mostly work through platforms and payment facilitators.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of other companies that kind of do the latter that we were describing. There's a company called